Hi there, fight fans. My name is Kian Lang, and I'm very happy to say that I'm today joined by the Cage Warriors light heavyweight champion of the world, Mr. James Webb. James, how are we doing today, brother?
Yeah, very well, mate. Very well. Done some training this morning. Now just messing about with the kids and quick interview, dinner, back to work again. So more training is coming.
And obviously, I mean, you're saying you're training twice a day. We only saw you in action a little over a month ago, Cage Warriors 188 against John Allen, your first title defense. How was that night for you? I mean, it was an incredible performance, an incredible atmosphere. I can imagine it was pretty special.
Yeah, it was probably one of the best fight weeks and fight days. Obviously, the result and the whole sort of whole fight week for me was very special. It was the first time I got to like fight in Ireland. Um, I really enjoyed that. I've got a following out there, so it was, it was, uh, it was, it was a surreal week. If I'm honest with you, like it couldn't have been any more perfect. It was perfect. Do you know what I mean? Like the training camp before was fucking amazing. Like they've been phenomenal. And then I'm just sort of now a bit madly saying it, but I feel like I'm finding my feet now with like my style, and I'm now starting to be able to get that across. And I was very happy with the finish. A good opponent, and I felt like I got him out there fairly fast.
Yeah. And you mentioned there the style. It feels like these last two performances in particular, we're really seeing the best out of you. I mean, facing off, going back to the Andy Clamp fight, I mean, facing off against one of the best grapplers Cage Warriors has, and you just out grappled him for 3 rounds straight up. And then in this one, obviously, John Allen, more of a striker, and you had to deal with the early sort of flash knockdown. But I think it was really impressive. You,
The knockdown, I just want to it obviously knocked me down. There was no. I actually, if you watch the video back, I say shit as I'm falling. I'm like shit, he's coming. So I was fully in it. I went to fucking. I level changed into a hook, and I didn't even level change. So I just sort of like threw the hook and got caught with the jab as I come in, and it did hit me hard, man. It like that. I come out of that with being hit once in the fight, and I was in bits for about 2 weeks with my nose. It was he had some power there. So, but yes, back to what you were saying. Yeah, it was a bit of adversity, obviously, and then had to pick myself back up and get on with it.
I think that was the really impressive thing because you can see sometimes when guys, like you say, they feel that power. You can almost see guys go into their shells sometime when they feel that in a fight. And you were like the exact opposite. It sort of brought you out and lit the fire almost, and you just dominated the fight from then. How are you able to have that?
I'm very grateful you said that because actually, um, we were clinched up on the cage after, and I let him. I allowed him to put my back on the cage. He went to try and step around the back of me and take me down. So I had to sort of allow myself with my back on the cage, and I just had to calm everything down. And when I mean calm everything down, I just had to like see where I was at, and I could see blood on the back of him, and it annoyed me because I thought, "Fuck, I've been cut again. Like I've been cut in the last two fucking fights, and I'm like, I've been cut again." I was annoyed at myself, and I was like, "Right, that's it. I need to get this fucking fella out of there." And then at the end of round one, by the time I went back, I wasn't bleeding. Do you know what I mean? I actually thought like maybe I was cut on the nose or something, but it was nothing. It was just it was nothing, but that sort of did light a bit of a fire under me. I was like, I've got to get that back. Do you know what I mean? In my head, I sort of scored it like, fuck, I could be down on the scorecards already. So I was just like, I need to get it back. And I think the truth is in that first round there, if you give me 15, 20 seconds, he's out of there. He was out of there because I got landed an elbow and side control. He allowed me to go to mount. I threw a right elbow, threw another elbow, I missed, but that was the end of the buzzer. I think at that point now I'd have had him out of there. 15, 20 seconds I'd have done him. But it was what it was, and yeah, went on and did it in the second. So why not?
It definitely felt like when you got him down to the ground and he felt that power. I don't want to say he didn't want any part of it, but that was almost how it seemed on TV that the power was just too much for him on the ground. Did you feel that in the cage?
Yeah, he was, like it's nice to talk big about yourself and say how good you are. And I feel like with grappling, I am very good. Like I've been around a long time. I've trained with seriously high level guys, and um, still every day's a learning day. Like today, I got fucking mauled this morning, grappling. But there was a few, there was some threats, like he was threatening on the neck early, but there was nothing there. And then he was trying to hit a Kimura, and it's hard. Have you done any grappling yourself?
I've done a little bit of jiu-jitsu and I get battered every time.
That's all right. So when you like have been in it for a while, you can almost feel, and it makes sense because jiu-jitsu is very feely anyway. And so normally within about 5 to 10 seconds of me rolling with anybody, I can feel what it's going to be like. And when he was attacking the neck in certain positions and looking for the Kimura, I straight away felt like he's got nothing for me. And that's what it felt like the whole time. I just had to wait for the right moment. He was good at like stopping me trying to progress the position. Um, but like I typically try and like wait on people and cook them is the word. Like try and like make them suffer a little bit and um, use a lot of top pressure, and then it sort of does. They sort of quit and give me the position I want. And that's what actually happened in the end. Um, and then yeah, just shots to finish in the end. That was it.
And it feels like at the moment, yeah, I mean, you're 3-0 since you moved to light heavyweight. Going back to that mixed stand and obviously the middleweight title fight, since then, you've just been on a tear and it feels like we're seeing the best version of yourself. How big of a difference? I mean, it's amazing to me that you even made middleweight. You look at you in the cage against these 205 pounders and you're the bigger dude most of the time. I mean, how big of a difference has it made moving up in weight for you?
Um, it's obviously been huge for me. Like I struggled to start making the weight like early 20, end of sort of 2022. I started really struggling to make middle. Um, and I fought a few times. Like the Leon Aliou fight was one of them. I fought Paddy McCory. Obviously, Paddy's flying at the moment. Great to see. Hope he gets a call. Then I fought Mick, and the cuts were just taking it out of me. And like I actually walk around lighter now as a light heavy than I was at middleweight, which is crazy. But when I talk about it to obviously my S&C coach, have a good relationship with him. It's about I was always like sort of yo-yoing. So I'd be dropping mad weight and then the body just sort of holds onto it. So I'd be ballooning back up and I'd be sitting at like 106, 107. And I'm walking around now I'm a bit heavier at the moment because I've been eating loads of chocolate, but I'm probably sitting about 104, 5 right now. And that's lighter than I would have been at middle. And I think it was just the stress of the cuts. And I was actually eating less food then as well. So, like, since I've now not had to do these drastic cuts, I've sort of like leveled out my weight a bit, which has been great for me. Um, but middle was just getting too hard. Like it was where I started my career, and like I was fighting. I'm 35 now. Fucking hell, I was making like 84 kilos when I was like 22, 23. So like it's a long time at a certain weight. And I could never, even when I was like 22, 23, there was no chance I'd have even made welterweight. I couldn't make welterweight. That was too much for me. So I just feel like everything's sort of come together. And then, it's great to see the performances. Like I know the performances as well. Like I'm almost proving everybody right that's believed in me. Um, like I've done very well in my career, but I've never really got to showcase the level I was at. And it does take bigger fights to bring that out of me as well. I think, like fighting Andy Clamp, fighting in knowing he was a high level grappler, like I knew that about myself anyway. So it was a matchup I was very like interested in, and that brought out the best of me. And I think the same with the Baganski fight, like the Polish fellow I fought. It sort of did the same to me. Like when I'm not stressing about weight cuts and when I can focus on training, I just feel like recently I've just been the best version of myself. And um, I feel like going into most fights, I feel like I'm superiorly confident. You know what I mean? Like I feel like I'm very confident everywhere now, and that's a lot of things. That's obviously training, age, experience, but also like the camp that I found myself in as well. And at the moment, like yeah, I'm training with in my opinion, the best heavyweight mat in the world. But I'm also training with like the heavyweight champion alongside um, a load of high level UFC fighters KSW, PFL, like the list goes on, you know, like I've got a great relationship with Modestus. We train together a lot. I get to train with him, like we train a lot together. Do you know what I mean? I say a lot together. We train probably 3 days a week with each other when I'm back in camp 3 days a week. That's great. So like, you know, when it comes to them fighting, if it's not sort of on a world stage, I don't I don't fear anyone because it's like it's not any worse than Spam Modestus. It's not any worse than Tom. It's not any worse than Ante. It's not any worse than Fielder Freeze. It's just not going to get any worse. Do you know what I mean? Mick Parkin, Charles Joyner, you know, like it doesn't get any worse. So it's sort of like it feels like everything has sort of come together at the right time for me, like an accumulation of so many things that have just presented themselves and they've all lined up. The only downside to that is now I'm just getting older. Do you know what I mean? That's the fucking downside. I'm getting older, and like I know people talk about age. For me, I feel like I'm getting better. Like I'm still learning. So like I don't feel like where I'm at. I don't feel like I should be slowing down at the moment. Like I believe, especially the weight I'm at, I feel like I've got another, you know, at least 3 years there, getting better. Like I still feel like I'm getting better. There's still stuff I haven't been able to like showcase, you know, and um I just look forward to see what opportunities do come up, if any do come up, and potentially how the rest of this year looks. And next year, I think they're very. It's quite interesting where I'm sitting. What might happen in the next sort of this year to 18 months? You know, like I've got my stock's quite high, should I say? So I feel like there's definitely some opportunities out there, and obviously we all want to sign to the UFC, and you know there's some talk of that, and um, I'm also trying to be real as well. So like I will hang on for that. I will hang on to that for, you know, best part of this year. But I think if it doesn't work out for me, I think I'm just going to look to explore other promotions, you know. And there's some other fantastic promotions, and they pay well, um, and that's again not. It's not about the pay. It's never been about the pay, but it's starting to become that now. Like you know, I've got a gym. I've got my own gym, and I still travel and train everywhere. I'm up in Manchester. I'm in London. I'm everywhere I can to still commit to my career. But I've also got 2 kids now, and you know, and a fiance, and it's sort of unfair on them sometimes. You know, like when you come out of like some really hard fights and you've not really got anything there. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not, you know, it's not like you're sitting there and you ain't got sitting there with 60, 70 grand in the back pocket, you know. So um it'd just be nice to go out, have a few fights, good promotions, good shows, big venues, get a few quid, and maybe just ride off into the sunset and coach.
I mean, it sounds perfect, doesn't it? It's very interesting what you said about the gym there, because I got a chance to speak to Modestus last week, and he said something very similar, that it's just the room, despite all that. I mean, you mentioned there Phil DeFries, KSW champion, obviously Tom, the undisputed champion of the world. Forget all the interim stuff. It's it's such a high level of guys, and yet he said the same, that it's such a humble group, and everyone just wants to improve. So it's no surprise to hear that. And looking forward to the future, you mentioned there the UFC. I think myself, the rest of England, the rest of the UK would be very excited to see that. If that's not the plan, you mentioned other promotions. Could we see you in the likes of like Octagon? I think would be very exciting to see you in there.
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously I'd love the UFC call up, but and I need a little bit of luck with that. Do you know what I mean? There's a little bit of luck that comes with that. You know, I need a pull out at light heavyweight. You know, and so obviously there's only so many shows they do this side of the world as well. Um, KSW, I like. You know, like KSW, I feel I've been on that show like with my head coach Chris Fought, and I've been around that show a few times, and I was in Gdansk with him a few years back when he fought there, and the whole I was very impressed with their production, you know, like and like the size of the show's great, and um I'd love the opportunity to walk out in front of like 20,000 fucking people. Do you know what I mean? That'd be just things that you can't buy. You know what I mean? And I've done things that people can't buy as well, but they're just other things. Like I said, it's not the money's something now that I'm looking to chase. It's never been about that. It's been about the experiences. Um, but I'd probably fight for free if it was in front of 20,000 people. You know. World Canal Stadium. But no, I mean, there is some great promotions out there. And I don't know the ins and outs of them all. You know, you hear a few horror stories about a few things going on and stuff. Um, but for me, I feel like if the UFC didn't come to light, KSW would be something that I'd be very interested in. Um, and FNC as well. They've got a FNC out in Croatia, something as well I'd like to look at as well, you know. So there's some stuff to do still. Just have to see how it all plays out, you know. Just have to, like I said, hopefully there's a little bit of a, hopefully a little bit of luck comes my way and we get a call. But I'm not gonna hold out on it, you know. Like I'm not gonna literally sit on that for fucking 18 months. I'm gonna wait, see what happens this year, and then possibly then move on, you know.
Well, mate, wherever it is next, I can't wait to see it. Hopefully, like you say there, it's the UFC. That would be just class to see you in that. I think you deserve it. You're a guy that does it for the right reason. So I can't thank you enough for joining me today, man. You're an absolute legend, and thank you very much for your time.
I appreciate you reaching out, man. I really do. I appreciate it. Thank you, Kim.